And welcome back. Chamberlain, South Dakota native and three-time state champion wrestler Nash Hutmaker committed to the University of Nebraska this morning to play football. He is number 72 in these highlights and is known by his teammates as the Polar Bear. Hutmaker plays on both sides of the ball on the offensive and the defensive line, and he chose the Cornhuskers over programs such as Oregon, Iowa State, and Wisconsin. And his high school career is not over yet, still has one more year left at Chamberlain, and what he is most known for is probably his wrestling. He is a national wrestling champion and won 123 straight matches, and he even does track and field where he won a state title at the shot put this year. What an athlete he is. However, it is unclear whether or not he will continue his wrestling career with the Cornhuskers. And a couple of weeks ago, the Storm signed Chris Dixon, the three-time IFL MVP and five-time United Bowl champion. But Coach Curtis Riggs insisted that he was just a backup, and Riggs stayed true to his words, as Dixon didn't even touch the field against the Tucson Sugar Skulls last week. And Lorenzo Brown had one of his best games of the season with 4 touchdowns on the ground and 1 through the air to lead the Storm to the 50-47 win. And, well, maybe Dixon will see the field against the Iowa Barnstormers tonight, but coach and quarterback seriously doubt that, but they do admit his presence is powerful.
Well, Chris brings a lot of presence. I mean, we knew that going in, and Zoe knew what we were doing. It was never a threatening moment for him. He's our guy.
I probably got called about 20 times and people thinking the worst and all that, but I mean, it's all noise and I don't really let it affect me.
And the Storm are going to take on the Barnstormers tonight, and we will have highlights. And it is day 2 of the DSU American Legion Classics, and Lennox and Redfield are facing off. It's Redfield striking first as Noah Haney hits a sack fly that brings in a run, and that would lead to a 2-0 lead after 1. And then the hot weather did not affect them, as Lennox Zach Foss as he steps up and hits a bomb over the left field wall, and Lennox is still down 2-1, and Redfield wants to expand their lead as Christian DeYoung puts it off the left field wall, and that goes to left field, and that would bring in a run as they would score another and lead 4-1 going into the 6th. And here comes Lennox. They get wind and they need a little something as Mason Miller pulls a grounder to left that brings in 2 runs, and they would flip the game in 1 inning as J.D. Kirshner drops it right over the shortstop for the RBI, and they would have a 6-run 6th inning as they top Redfield 7-4 and moving to 2-0 in pool play, and they will play again at 7 against Sturgis. And the Twins dropped the first game of their series against the White Sox, and now they're facing an uphill battle to even the series. Top of the first, runner on first, and Nelson Cruz is going to send both of them home as he has a 2-run blast to deep right field, and they go up 2-0, and they're actually leading right now 10-3 in the bottom of the 9th, and if they hold on, they could even up this series. And a former Jackrabbit, Jake Winicky, did not disappoint last night as he would score his first touchdown of his CFL career. And what a nice corner bout by Winicky. Looked like he's back in Brookings with that route. Look at that. Beats the corner and then just dives into the end zone. And he would score the only touchdown of the day for Montreal as they lose 41-10 to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And while at SDU, Winicky set the Missouri Valley Conference record and SDSU career reception records, receiving yards, and receiving touchdown records. And he ranked second all-time in the FCS for receiving touchdowns with 59. And the Canaries lost their 9th straight game last night, and former pitcher Pat Mahomes threw out the first pitch, and they could have used him. First inning milkmen, they get the double play, and the score would be tied at 0. As you see, 1, 2, double play. Score is tied at 0. And then the first run of the game would come off a Canaries error, and the milkmen, they would go on to win this game by a score of 8-2. And then in the 3rd, the milkmen, Noah Early hits it to the center, and that allows another run to come in. And what the milkmen were able to do was just win this game 8-2. And